So, what is up guys? Good afternoon. Time for your second video of the day. So, I wanted to talk more about the inghams. I wanted to talk more about why, I fear so much that something bad is going to happen to the kids. Like, I don't know what it is, it's just... I mean, it's not a fear that suddenly, appeared recently. It's like a fear that I've had for a long time, because you can see that Chris and Sarah are just getting more and more desperate, and it feels like, as they get more and more desperate, it feels like the chances of something bad happening seem to start, are increasing every so often. They're getting more and more likely. It's been. I think, in all honesty, I think the sad thing about it is, I think Sarah and Chris would actually love it if something bad did happen to the kids, because in their eyes it would make for great vlog content. That's how they would see it. They would see something bad happening to the kids as being great vlog content, and it's like, we all know they'd love to clickbait something really terribly bad happening, as they would think that would get them a few extra views, I mean, it's just scary to think that, to think what could go wrong. It feels like, I don't know what to say, like, it genuinely does feel like it's only a matter of time before something does actually go wrong. Obviously, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to start World War III. I'm just voicing my concerns. I'm just voicing the fact that I am very scared that it's only a matter of time before something does inevitably go wrong. As it feels like that is an inevitability at this point. It feels like, that is gonna, that something is gonna happen, something is gonna go wrong. I don't want to think that something will go wrong. I don't want to think that something bad is gonna happen to one of the kids. I don't want to think that. I don't want to think that something bad is going to happen to one, to one if not all of the kids, but it just feels like something is going to happen. It just feels like at this point they're just running on pure luck, and their luck is going to run out at some point, and it's only a matter of time before their luck does run out. And I think they need to start facing the facts. I think they need to start waking up and realise that things are gonna, the things are gonna keep going from bad to worse for them. It's just obviously a terrible, it's like a really terrible situation. And I think that's all that can really be said, is that it is just a horrible situation that no one really should be involved in. It's a terrible situation that people don't need to be involved in or don't need to be dragged into. It really is, I am at a loss for words as to what to say about this. I wish there was, something positive that I could say. I wish there was something that I could, say about this that, that sums it up. But I think I've said, all that I really needed to say. Like, I don't think there's anything else I could possibly say, other than I am gravely concerned that something bad is going to happen. I think, I do fear that one day their actions will end up having tragic consequences, not for them but for the kids. It will be the kids that end up paying the price for their parents' actions in whatever way they do. It scares me to think what would happen. It scares me to think that something could very well go wrong. And I think it's only a matter of time before it realistically does. You know, I don't want to think that something's going to go wrong. But I think people need to start facing the facts. And the facts are that they are a pair of runners. Simple as that, they are an absolute pair of runners. And with each passing day, they're becoming more and more and more and more irresponsible. Has to be said. You know, I'll never ever forget that day when they let the girls go out, paddleboarding on the lot with no life jackets on. You know, that has to be one of the most infamous moments in their history. And the worst thing is, I think there were still people that were defending them even then. You know, even then, people were there were some people out there who were defending them and saying that they had done nothing wrong, when actually they had. You know, they have basically, allowed their 3 children to go paddleboarding on the lot with no life jackets on, which was by far one of the dumbest things they could have done. You know, last year when I think it, you know, when were they on the European road trip? I can't remember, but they went somewhere, and they had they had the kids in the boat. They had the 2 younger ones in the boat, and it was literally going up and down, like really, it was bouncing up and down really badly. You know, and I remember watching the vlog, and I remember thinking that, I remember feeling really scared that one of either Jace or Mila was going to end up going over the side of the boat and falling into the water. You know, and it just, to be honest, like, it just didn't feel like it was safe to, it just didn't feel like Jace and Mila should really have been in the boat full stop. It wasn't the smartest thing that, they've ever done. Like, they have done a lot of irresponsible things, but the truth of the matter is, regardless of what people say, Chris and Sarah Ingham don't give a shit about their kids. All they give a crap about is the fact that it's about money and views. All they give a damn about is the fact they're making money. They don't give a damn about nothing else. It's like, why would they give a damn about whether, about whether something they wanted, something was potentially, was dangerous or was potentially unsafe. They're not, they wouldn't give a damn about that. They wouldn't give a damn about something, about the fact that, about whether or not something was dangerous or unsafe. They'd still go ahead and do it, regardless of how safe it actually is. They don't care about putting their kids' safety at risk. Well, they don't care about, keeping their kids safe. They have shown many, many times that they will quite happily put their kids' safety at risk and put their kids' lives, basically put their kids' lives in danger. And potentially put their kids in a situation where they could get, badly hurt or worse. And there's so much proof of their, this is the thing, if you look at their channel, there is so much proof of their wrongdoings. I mean, let's take a look at their vlogs, for example. How many times have we seen vlogs where they've actually left open bottles of cleaning liquid, or open bottles of cleaning chemicals, in perfect reach of the 2 younger kids, where, in areas where the 2 younger kids can pick them up. They've left open bottles of medicine in arm's reach of the kids, the 2 younger kids. I feel like the problem with Chris and Sarah is, I feel like they don't really supervise Jace and Mila as much as they should be. Because Jace is only 5 and Mila is only 3. And I think that Chris and Sarah really do forget that sometimes. I think they forget that Mila is still only 3 and Jace is still only 5. So the chances of them getting hurt are more likely than ever. no matter what they do, they should always be, they should be being supervised at all times. Especially if they're ever near water as well. Like, this is the thing, there's no excuse for them leaving the two young kids unsupervised anywhere near water. At the end of the day, the two younger ones, Jason and Mila, should not be anywhere near water without an adult. There should always be adult supervision there. There should always be an adult supervising them when they're near any water. Because we all know what could go wrong there if children are being left unsupervised near water, and the risks that that has. It's like sometimes Sarah is too busy nattering to the camera instead of seeing to her kids. At times she needs to be paying more attention to what her kids are doing, and paying more attention to actually supervising them when she should be. How many times have we seen those kids being left unsupervised, and obviously at times when they should be being supervised? It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, Isabel's an adult, but she's not at the end of the day, she's not their parent, so it's not really her job to be supervising, to be supervising Jason and Mila. She's not their parents. Chris and Sarah are the parents, so it's their job to be supervising the kids. And it feels like half the time they're not doing that. Half the time they don't, not even bothering to supervise Jason and Mila when they should actually be supervising them. And this is that's a big recipe for disaster. That's asking for something to go wrong, and you're leaving a 5-year-old when you're leaving a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old unsupervised near water. You're asking for something to go wrong. You're asking for something bad to happen. It's like neither of them, neither Chris or Sarah, have any common sense. Neither of them have a fucking clue what they're doing when it comes to parenting kids. They don't have the first clue about being decent parents. It's just unbelievable. I really feel sorry for these. I really feel sorry for these kids, because it just feels like that the children don't really have any privacy in their lives, because it's like they're filmed, constantly being filmed at home, in the house. They're constantly being filmed in the house, and every time they go out somewhere for the day, they're constantly being filmed. It's like no matter where they go, no matter what they do, they can't get away from the cameras. The camera's always there. And I'm not really talking more about the older 3 here, because I know the older 3 chose to be a part of the channel and etc, etc. I'm talking more about the younger 3. It's not fair on them that that everywhere they go there's always a bloody camera there. They're so young, they should be able to go somewhere and enjoy themselves and have fun, and not have to worry about the fact that mummy and daddy are filming them the whole entire time. It's just horrendous. It really does feel like those kids have zero privacy in their lives anyway. It feels like they have no privacy in their lives whatsoever. And I know that probably does sound a teeny tiny bit harsh, in the grand scheme of things, and I wasn't trying to be harsh on that one, but I'm aware that it did sound a bit harsh. It does sound a bit harsh for me to be saying that I don't agree with what they do or how they do things, but I think people need to wake up and realise that Chris and Sarah are not the awesome parents they're made out to be. This is what really winds me up, is the fact that Chris and Sarah are made out to be such awesome parents, but we all know they're not. We all know they're not the awesome parents they're made out to be. We we all know they don't give a fuck about those kids. Pure and simple. That much is blatantly obvious. Of course they don't give they don't give two shakes of a flying fuck about their kids. Of course they don't care about, why would they? All they care about is the fact they're they're making a decent time, the fact that they're basically there, and the fact that they're basically making a decent ton of money. This is just a thing. That's me. That's me then. This is the thing, right? They've been making a decent ton of money off their kids for the past, 8 years. It's crazy to think about, but it's true. Like, all they've ever done is basically use their kids for vlog content, and have made a decent time. They made the profit off of that in quite a big way. As I said, I can't help but fear that something bad is gonna happen at some point. Their luck is gonna run out. It's only I think it's not, and it's nothing but a pure miracle. Nothing bad has actually happened already. But it is just a major problem that, it is now a major miracle that something bad hasn't already happened. I want to try and be less negative, but when it comes to the inghams, I can't really be any less negative than I am, because someone has to say things for what they are. Someone has to say this. These things need to be said. These things. As I am really concerned. To be honest, I'm very deeply concerned. That something bad will happen. It's like, I don't know. It's just. It's just like, I can't help but fear that something bad will happen, because it does feel like an inevitability. With them, it feels like something bad is always bound to happen. It feels like a lot of the time, it feels like they're actually asking for something bad to happen. It's like they're asking for something to go wrong. It's like they're asking for something, for something tragic to happen. And it's only a matter of time now before it does. Their luck will run out soon. They might think they've gotten lucky many times already, but they're not gonna keep getting lucky. They're not gonna keep getting it, but they're not gonna keep getting away with putting their kids' lives at risk. One day they will put their kids' life. They will do something reckless. They will do something irresponsible or dangerous, and their actions will backfire on them in the worst possible way. One day they will do something that is incredibly dangerous and reckless, and their actions will end up having extremely devastating and tragic consequences, for everyone involved. I dread to think what could go wrong. But it does scare me. It scares me seeing how desperate they're getting. And that's what scares me, is the fact that they're getting more and more desperate as time goes on. And it scares me to think that as they continue to get more desperate, things are going to continue to get worse. What we've seen already isn't anywhere near as bad as what we could see, and what I expect to see in the coming months. I dread to think what sort of dangerous situations he's going to keep being put in. Because this is the thing, Chris and Sarah are gonna keep putting their kids in dangerous situations. They're gonna do that time and time and time and time again. They don't, because they love, at the end of the day, they love endangering their kids. They love putting their kids' safety at risk. They love putting their kids' lives in danger. It's something that it's like they get that enjoyment out of actually putting their kids' lives in danger. It's mad. It's absolute mad. It's absolute madness, simple as that. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you for another one very soon. Bye bye.